maybe the election will be postponed, or military takeover as well is something that is also in the card. The election might not hold. What is likely to happen in Nigeria presidential election? Nobody knows exactly what will happen, but in this video, I want to attempt to talk about some of the things that are likely to happen before, during, or after the presidential election of Nigeria. Just right there, I've got the beautiful map of Nigeria, which shows the states and also the regions, and I've got the main contestant in Nigeria presidential election. I mean, there are other candidates, I think about 17 of them in total, but I've got this guy here who are the major contender. If I have opportunity to vote, I will definitely vote this guy here, Peter Obi. But the sad truth is that, I don't really have opportunity to vote, but I don't think he's going to win anyway. But a lot of people won't really want to understand that fact that, well, maybe let's not say fact anyway, because the election hasn't really happened and you can never say never. I mean, for me, I don't think he's going to win. And one of the things that will likely happen is that if Peter Obi lose Nigeria election, then you are talking about serious trouble might just happen, because there are massive follower of Obi who are called obedient, and a lot of them are youth. But it's not just youth actually, because there are a lot of elite and older generation as well that really follow him and support him. So, but I'm talking about youth especially. So there might be a protest if he doesn't win, and one of the things that might happen is that there is this Biafra, agitation that is there around, the southeast area. So which are kind of like died down a little bit. Well, not died down. There are still people pushing, hard for Biafra. Even currently, there are still people pushing for Biafra. But it's kind of like a slow down a little bit when Peter Obi, started, contesting for Nigeria presidential election. So if he doesn't win, I think the agitation for Biafra is really going to maybe go up again or maybe escalate. And another thing really to mention about him, Peter Obi, is that if he kind of like let's just assume that he wins, how is the government going to be? I think there is possibly going to be problem in terms of it's not really his party, Labour Party. I don't really see them having the majority in the parliament. So what will then happen then? Every policy and everything that he wants to do, that nice and good thing with good intention for Nigeria, they are not really going to let it happen, because he's going to receive a lot of opposition. So this is just my honest opinion really. And then another thing really is that the insurgents, that is really a problem in Nigeria, especially in the north around that area, so which has really seen a lot of problem, Boko Haram and insecurity, all of this as well. If somebody that is in from the north is the president, it's even going to go even to another level. And is he really going to be able to deal with it? I don't really know. What if Atiku Abubakar wins? So it's going to mean that these two guys here, they are going to have lost. So that means, the people of Yoruba in here, so which there's also agitation for Yoruba land or Yoruba nation. So it's just going to mean that both of them, Biafra and, Yoruba nation agitation is just going to go up. And then you're talking about, serious problem in terms of the southern part. They are really going to be northerner that is going to be finishing, and then another northerner is going to continue. So we're talking about 8 years the current person has spent, and then this one likely to spend another 8 years. So it's going to be we really want somebody from the south. So which means that there is possibly going to be protests. I can imagine there are possibly going to be protests from the people in the south if he is the one that end up to win the Nigeria presidential election. What about if this guy wins? Well, if he wins, I'm not really sure whether there will be too much problem in the south in terms of him winning, and also in the north. I'm not really sure there will really be any a problem in the north if he wins. But Where the problem might be, has to do with his health. Well, I mean, this is all alleged. I'm not really saying, I don't really have any proof of this, but this picture here you are looking at is kind of like a old picture actually, so it's much older with his recent picture. So, but what I'm saying is that it's really old, and then it does have a lot of things I said even during the campaign, which people are saying is it really old age? Is it got dementia? Is it, everything is all alleged. I'm not really saying that I have any proof to that. So, which means that, this is, if he wins, is he really going to be in charge? As we know currently, the current president really has a lot of health issue and going about, abroad for, treatment and all of that. Is that going to be another situation of that? And then we also have a president who was at the time, passed away even during when he was the president, and then the vice has to take over. Is there something like that might happen as well? I'm not wishing him any bad thing. And so also when Yaradua, president at the time when he passed away, nobody was wishing him any bad thing, but sadly died, and then his vice had to take over. And then when we're talking about old age, really everybody will get old one day, and it's just natural thing that there's nothing you can really do about it. So but in terms of that, health issues might be and then there might be a high level of corruption as well, because if it's not really that healthy and then it's not really in charge in terms of having the right mental state, it's just going to be people around him, they're just going to be doing whatever they want, and then corruption might really escalate as well. So another thing that might actually happen is that the election might not hold. Why is that? So this article right here, so which is just a recent article, Tinubu fifth, this is one of the presidential aspirant, fifth columnist around Buhari, the current president, plot interim national government. So there has been some talk about this before. I think one of the Nigeria, legal, practitioner, legal, kind of like a big person in the legal space. I think Afe Babalola mentioned that a while ago, who said, the constitution is not good enough. Is it better to have interim government where, a new constitution can be written? So is that something playing out around that space in terms of and there has been a lot of things being said as well about cabals in the presidential villa who don't want the same person that is in the same party with the current president to be president. It's just a lot of things really going on as we're during currently, which some people are just saying that maybe the election will be postponed, or what will happen. Nobody really know what will happen around that area. And then what about military takeover? Military takeovers where it's something that is also in the card. Nobody really knows whether that will happen. The military, they've done it in the past. They can suddenly come and say, we're taking over, or there's corruption, there's insecurity, there's uncertainty in the land, and then the military taking over. So these are a lot of things that are really there that nobody really know what will happen. But the election at the end of the day might just hold, and every panic and every uncertainty and everything that a lot of people are scared about might not really happen. Whatever your thought is about Nigeria presidential election, please do leave a comment in the comment box below. And thanks for watching, and God bless.